Hello and welcome to the Designed as You Energy Type series, where we are exploring all of the energy types within the human design chart. So today we're going to be focusing on the manifesting generator, which is about 35% of the population. And these are the magnetic life force. Oh, just like abundant humans. I love the manifesting generators in my life. My sister is a manifesting generator, and when they are in their true self expression, they are so inspiring. They are so full of just life force. It's like when you connect with a manifesting generator who is living in alignment with them, who is following their gut, who is creating their own vision of heaven on earth, you can't get enough of them. You want to be around them. It's like you experience the divine and life through them. So I just want to remind you, manifesting generator, how important it is to trust yourself, to trust your gut, to follow where you feel called, to follow what expands, excites you, and lights you up, because that energy ripples on to everyone around you. It is not selfish to take into account of you, to take into account what you desire, what you want. Your desires are not random. They have been implanted in you for a reason, because that is what the world around you wants from you and desires from you. What happens when you follow your gut? It ripples on to the rest of the world. I think a manifesting generator needs to remember how powerful their energy is. If you are in a space of frustration, of apathy and boredom in life, or even anger, and that is felt by everyone else in the room. Everyone around you feels you in your not self-expression. And the funny thing is that we try and do what is right or what we think other people want from us, but then you're all resentful and frustrated and angry when you do it. And so people don't really benefit from it. If anything, it creates a lot of negative energy in their own lives. Whereas when a manifesting generator acts true for them, follows their passion, does what they desire to do, it expands and ripples on in positive, beautiful energy to all of them around them. So it's actually technically the most selfless thing you can do by following your desire and what lights you up, because it then gives so much energy to the rest of the world. So the manifesting generator has an open and enveloping aura. When you are in your true self, magnetism, love of life, excitement, curiosity, evolution, expansion, you draw and attract people in. And that's why it's honestly the most important thing a manifesting generator can do is make sure you feel good. Make sure in every morning you do what fills your cup up, what makes you feel alive, what nourishes you, because it then overflows to all around you. It's like you shouldn't even touch your laptop or your work until you've given to yourself. And most manifesting generators, when you're living your version of a satisfied life, you will wake up with a full tank. And so it's using then your energy in deeply satisfying ways throughout the day. But if you are giving your energy to things that don't serve you, that feel really draining, that feel really boring, that feel monotonous, that feels uninspiring, that feels frustrating, you're basically giving and forcing energy from an empty cup. So you end up being drained, and then your beautiful, juicy energy that you're meant to have isn't generated within you. So your relationship with life is to dance, to co-create, to experiment, to just see, to be able to see this world has infinite possibilities for you to play in. And instead of trying to force or figure out your life, you're designed to respond in every moment and see that life is giving you opportunities or invitations. And all you need to do is check within, feel into your gut, and feel a sense of either expansion, which means it's a yes for you, it's what you're meant to move towards. Or if you feel a constriction, it's telling you like, hey, this is not for you. And if you force this, you won't have the sustainable energy to carry it out. So it's a little bit of a premonition. If you feel a constriction in your body, it's telling you that's really going to drain your energy in the future. So a manifesting generator are the people that are multi-passionate, often known as people that are multi-hyphenate. So they may practice human design, also love astrology, loves to play netball and soccer on the weekend, also loves cooking, loves interior design, loves to write books, loves to do lots of different things. And they often don't make sense to each other, has lots of different interests. And what's so important for a manifesting generator is to not box themselves in, to feel like they have to do one thing for their entire life. or to feel like they have to follow a linear path. This is the biggest conditioning of a manifesting generator, is a feeling like they have to start at entry level and work their way up until they get to what we would see as the highest level of whatever the linear path is. No, that would feel so inhibiting and so uninspiring for a manifesting generator, because you would lose the energy for it and it wouldn't feel evolutionary and it wouldn't feel exciting. You are someone that has a nonlinear path. You, instead of following A, B, C, D, you're going A, T, Q, S, R. And at the end of the day, you're going to get to where you desire a lot quicker when you allow that. When you force your energy to work in specific ways, you're going to feel uninspired and inhibited. And when a manifesting generator releases all the rules, releases how it should look, then their life force is free to create and move in ways that feels deeply satisfying, inspiring, and creative, which is what they're here for. So a manifesting generator will often skip lots of steps, will move quicker than the rest of the world. So please don't wait for the rest of the world to keep up. You move in different ways, and you also get over things quite quickly. You have to trust that when you feel an intuitive call or your gut calls you towards something, you will gain what you need from it. You will gain what you're meant to receive from it. So, for example, you may feel called to read a certain book or to listen to a certain podcast or to enroll in that course or go to that place or invest in that relationship. When you have received what you're meant to receive, it will feel complete. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It just means that you've received exactly what you were meant to get and you're meant to move on. So don't force yourself to finish the book or force yourself to finish the podcast or force yourself to finish the course or force yourself to stay in that relationship or stay in that job. It's complete. When you then no longer feel a gut expansion or excitement from it, it's inviting you to pivot. You're showing us and helping the rest of the world feel comfortable with change, because to change means you're evolving. And if you don't let yourself change, it's anti-evolutionary. You're stopping your own growth. You're stopping your own expansion. And so the manifesting generator is helping us to understand the beautiful process of rebirth, to let things go that are no longer for you and rebirth and reinvent and re-enliven who you are and what you're here to do. And if you don't judge that, other people won't judge it. A lot of manifesting generators are afraid of quitting or afraid that they'll never be successful if they don't stick to one thing. But you will be more successful when you allow yourself to incorporate all your different interests, move in a very intuitive way, follow your gut, follow your expansion without it needing to make logical sense, because then you're in the realm of infinite possibilities and people and opportunities and everything comes to you. A manifesting generator is not designed to chase. You're designed to attract, and you will naturally attract when you follow your gut. Even when your mind doesn't understand, even when your mind is full of fear, all you can do is take each step as it presents and follow your gut as each opportunity or idea presents itself. So let yourself juggle all your interests, juggle all your hobbies. It makes sense to you, and you're a unique transmission that can incorporate all that you will learn along the way. It's not that you're just a human design practitioner. You're a human design practitioner who also has knowledge around subconscious, who also understands astrology, who also understands science, who also understands breathwork, who also loves nature, who also loves dance and music. Like, all of it gets to be here. All of it makes up you, and people want to connect with you rather than the thing or the modality or the line of work that you do. So follow all of the many passions. And if you feel like you have too many ideas, or you feel like you don't know which one to choose, I always say, what do you feel most expanded and excited about? Close your eyes, and what feels like the thing that you feel most called towards, and knowing that all of it will come and become more relevant as you move forward. You will gain more and more clarity and direction and momentum as you are moving. We can sit at step 1 or step 0 and feel like we need to know the next 1,000 steps. No, you only need to know step 1 and then step 2, step 3. And that's going to come spontaneously as the manifesting generator, because again, life will always give you something to choose from when you are listening, when you are aware, when you are present in your life. A lot of people are just blinders on, not looking around. No, this is the one path I have to do. This is the one linear path. This is what I should do. And you're missing all of the other options around. So when you take the blinders off and you become more aware, life will see that you're not playing around anymore, or you're not ignoring anymore. And you start to trust where you feel called in every moment based on where your gut is excited by. So when you let your energy go where it's meant to or it wants to go, then you become more free. You see that your life force wants to move. And not everything, by the way, has to make you money. I think this is this thing where we like don't let ourselves enjoy or create because it's like it has to somehow return in a monetary way. What about just for your own enjoyment? What about for your own happiness, for your own joy, for your own freedom? And what you'll see is that when you invest and give to yourself in nourishing ways and inspiring ways, it will overflow to other aspects of your life. So trust where your interest is guiding you because you won't know how it will become relevant and helpful in the future. For example, you might invest in a course and you don't really know why you're learning human design or pottery or art or DJing. And then in the future, it becomes a part of your business. It becomes a part of your relationships, or it's something that you then teach your kids. Who knows? But all you can do is trust where you feel called in this moment, knowing that it's for a reason and knowing that you're going to gain something from it. And when you've received what you needed to receive, it will direct you to the next place. And it's just showing, and this is this fluid movement as a manifesting generator. And the only person that will resist it is you. The only person that won't let you be able to explore and experiment with all that's possible here is our own stories in our head. And so when you see that you will always gain something, whether it is a blessing or a lesson, it is always for your highest benefit to follow and trust your gut. So let me remind you that you pick things up quick, you master them quick, and then you inevitably drop it. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid that you are someone that picks things up and then releases. You pick things up and you release. And also notice, because manifesting generators are very capable, very quick, very efficient. So a lot of people can just like pile tasks or jobs on a manifesting generator. So you really need to learn to say no when it's draining your energy. Because as I said, that then means that your abundant life force energy can't go to places that it's designed to go because it's being so busy filled up with what's not meant for you. So practicing saying no is incredibly important, especially if things just keep piling up on your desk because people have learned to rely on you. And again, we can't blame them because there was somehow a dynamic set up that you're the person that ends up saving the day. And it's important for you to be so clear and treat your energy as sacred because it's meant to go where you feel most lit up and expanded, because that creates the positive ripple on effect rather than creating more resentment and frustration, and it just drains your energy. So let me remind you, you won't be able to map out your full path. You might have your vision, you might have your desire, you might have this calling, but how you're going to get there is going to be so intuitive, and it's going to be a practice of trust and surrender to your gut. You hear a lot about people saying, just surrender. Surrender does not mean doing nothing. Surrender means trust your gut and follow it, even when fear comes up, even when doubt comes up, even when your mind doesn't understand. You're not going to be able to map it out. If you can map it out ahead, that would mean that it's not your intuitive path. It's going to require you to take each step as it presents, knowing that you are guided on your highest evolution. So release the pressure to choose one thing. Release the pressure to choose one identity. Release the pressure to have 2-sentence bio. It's impossible. The English language will never be able to define the fullness, the abundance, the biggest expression of who you are. So release the need to define yourself. Yes, you may come up with a few labels and a few things that can help people make sense of what you do, but resist the need to label yourself. It's physically impossible. And what you need to trust is that people feel your energy. People feel your spaces, feel your creativity, feel your ability to uplift, feel your ability to create beautiful rooms or spaces or businesses, whatever your desire is. And that's what's going to draw them. An example I use is Rihanna. So she obviously became very successful and very famous, influential as a musician, as a singer. And then she openly said that she was no longer interested in singing. and she moved into fashion design. Then from fashion design, she moved into makeup and beauty. Then she's now in her season of motherhood and philanthropy. And so what we need to see just in this transition, that all doesn't really make sense, but she was so unapologetic in the transition. And people were like, are you creating more music? Are you going to bring back the music? And she's like, no, and who knows, she doesn't turn that off. Maybe at one point she will. But that is an example of trusting your path and your interest without conforming to an identity that you have since evolved from. If you are staying in an identity that no longer feels resonant and relevant, it will just continue to drain your life force and you'll no longer be successful in that thing. If Rihanna had kept and forced herself to do music, maybe we would think of her music in a very different way now. But because she allowed herself to trust her new interests and where she felt called, she was successful along the way. So that's obviously a famous person example. But if we think of you in the everyday, if you are forcing your energy in something that does not align for you, that you don't get to express fully and in your higher self, then it is an indicator that you are being asked to pivot, to change, to evolve. And you get to take all that you've learned. You get to take all your skills and your capabilities and your inspirations and your knowledge, but you get to put it in a different arena. You get to share it in a different way that excites you and lights you up, because that's what you're here for. When you are in that space, it's going to create way more impact, way more success, way more abundance, way more love than forcing something that is no longer relevant for you. So the strategy of the manifesting generator is to respond with your gut. You have a very strong gut instinct. Right now, if you're a manifesting generator and you're listening to this, you have a very strong gut instinct. This is what you are designed to create your direction with, to make your decisions, and to follow its expansion. And your gut can change. So there can be a season in your life where your gut is really excited and expanded about something. And then in a later season, it's no longer feeling as relevant or as resonant. And so this is where you trust your different seasons. And you also, as well, I recommend, if you're a manifesting generator in business, create a business where you can change and shift throughout. Don't create these very constrictive roles that then you're constricted in, but also at the same time, give yourself permission to change it. When you have no judgment around it, other people won't judge it. It's when we don't own it and we're all shadowy and feeling, oh, will people understand? Will people think I'm all over the shop? Will people think I'm flaky? That's when you receive the same reflection back, because people will think, does she really know what she's doing? I can feel this. She's not sure in her energy. But if you say, I'm doing this new thing, we're going in this direction, I'm really excited about it, people will reflect that certainty in your voice. People will reflect your certainty. If you're not certain in yourself and certain in your gut, the muddied, unsure, indecisive, scattered energy will be reflected externally. So you need to be living in the present moment, constantly tapping into your gut of, how does this feel? What's the most expansive direction? What feels most exciting? What feels most inspiring? And move towards that. And these can be in these micro moments in the everyday, and letting it shift and change as you do. So you're never waiting. The process of waiting is never like a passive process. You're just moving through life, being very present, very aware of your surroundings, and noticing when you have a gut response. So for example, you might hear something on a podcast. You might hear a friend talk about something. You might see something on a poster or see something in a magazine, or you might touch something you like, be intrigued or curious about something in your environment. And again, nothing is random. Life will plop things into your awareness that you're either designed to follow or you're designed to release. And so when you can be present in your life and notice when you feel a sense of expansion. So I always invite a manifesting generator, when they're getting more connected and more aware of your gut, close your eyes, feel how your body responds to something. You'll get your answer. And this is the brave piece, is to trust it and follow it, because your mind can come in 2 seconds later and try and talk you out of it, can try and give you the most logical, safe way. When in reality, your gut is the thing that's guiding you through your most expansive and authentic and aligned path. And so when you can take each step as it comes and as it presents, respond with your gut. So it's a proactive process. And when you do that, you're in your most lit up, joyous expression. And this is where you attract what is meant for you. We see this when you walk down the street with a spring in your step, or You're giving your energy to what feels most alive for you. You draw in people in your life. It's like they'll say, oh, I was just thinking about you and I wanted to get in touch. Or I just want to be in your space because it feels really inspiring to me. And that can't be faked. Your energy can't be faked. You have to just trust yourself, trust what expands and excites you and invigorates you, what lights you up, because then you draw, your energy magnetizes all the people and opportunities that are meant for you. Notice where you make things harder than they need to be. Notice when you hide yourself. Notice when you make things heavier. Again, the thing that suppresses that life force that wants to move is our own stories in our head, this like negativity in your life, this judgment. Notice if you're just judging a lot, or notice when you are worried about what people think. Notice where you force things that are not designed for you, that don't feel good. Then you're just going to create more lack and more of the mundane in your life. That's not inspiring for other people when you're stuck in your frustrating scarcity loops. So notice when something excites you, you sit up in your chair, you might be like, oh, yes, that squeal. There's a curiosity there. Follow it. There is something there for you. This is where you expand your aura, you expand your presence, you connect to deeper and divine intelligence, you draw in your people, and you step into more and more of your highest self energy. And also say no to what is not aligned for you. When you are forcing and you are putting energy in ways that are not aligned for you, it'll just keep draining. And I know that's hard. I know that's challenging. So you start doing step by step, whether that means in your personal social life up to your job. And I think it's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Sometimes as well, it's how you relate with your work. Let's use that as an example, or relate in your personal relationships. So if you're always people pleasing, if you're always overworking or taking on too much responsibility or trying to prove yourself, you're going to feel in your drained, frustrated energy. Whereas if you just show up and be in your authentic self and no need to overgive, over prove yourself or self-sacrifice, then maybe your job will no longer be so frustrating or draining. It's just about getting curious of how you're using your energy. So how to know if it's a no in your body or when it's not meant for you, you're going to feel a constriction in your body. You're going to feel, as I said, very drained. Notice if you're huffing and puffing a lot, that's your gut saying this is not for me. Notice when you are in what's called your not self of frustration. So this is important for all manifesting generators. Your gut can only answer yes or no. So don't ask your gut, what is my life purpose? Ask your gut, do I want to play soccer? Do I want to enroll in this course? Do I want to open a spa? Do I want to have a coaching business? Ask yes or no questions. Do I want to go on this retreat? You're going to either receive an expansion or a constriction. Your gut cannot answer a full sentence. It can only say yes or no. So you just need to give yourself that option. And better yet, you can get someone else to ask you and see how does that feel in your body. If you have a manifesting generator partner, ask them yes or no questions because they're not going to be able to answer if you're giving them open-ended questions. So this is just a really helpful little tool and trick for you to gain clarity, because then when you have clarity, that creates momentum. And this is where you move wholehearted, move towards in that direction. And even down to what you want to eat for dinner, instead of asking, what do you want for dinner? Ask, do you want Thai? Do you want Italian? Do you want Japanese? You're going to get your clarity because you're going to feel like, how does that feel in my body? If I envision that in front of me, do I feel expansive or do I feel constricted? So the not self of the manifesting generator is feeling like life just feels so frustrating. Things aren't moving the way you want to be moving. You feel a sense of anger in your body and a sense of dread. So think of it like, oh, this is so annoying. This is so frustrating. Why does this keep happening to me? Why don't people get it? That's a clue from your body that you're not following your gut, where you're saying yes when it should be a no. And when you're not focusing and giving your energy to what you're meant to give your energy to. This can also be where things like an energetic frustration, where things just aren't flowing or working out in your life. Again, we always want to go inward and ask, where can you follow what feels most expansive and intriguing, and start saying no to what feels draining and frustrating. Because manifesting generator, I just remind you that you're not meant to autopilot through life. It's not meant to feel mundane. You're here to be inspired. You're here to be creative. You're here to be lit up. You're here to be joyful. And sometimes it can be hard to jump from frustrated, angry, uninspired, monotonous to lit up, juicy enjoyment, all the things. So you start releasing what no longer serves you, ways and behavior and thoughts that no longer have to be reality, jobs or identities or relationships. Start inward, is mostly the mindset that needs to be released. And you'll start to see the world change around you. And then you might be in this middle bit of, let's say, the in between, where you're totally recalibrating. You know what you don't want, but what you desire or what you want to manifest isn't here yet because you're aligning to become the person that naturally creates that manifested reality. And so there's maybe a period of the in between where you feel like really uncertain and there's a lot of unknown. I just invite you keep going, keep trusting your gut, keep expanding because more and more you will attract what is meant for you and what is designed for you. But it requires you to be brave and it requires you to devote yourself to your gut. And I hear a lot of the time manifesting generators fearing commitment, fearing that devotional piece. And I just want to remind you that you only receive the full fruits of the seeds you plant if you commit to it. If you give all your energy, if you give your whole heart and don't half-heart things because you think, oh, well, it's going to change in the future anyway. No, give your full heart, give your full energy because then you'll receive all that's possible from it and then shift and pivot and change as you go. No one is saying that if you commit to something, you have to stay exactly the same way for the rest of your life. No, gain what you're meant to gain from it and then keep on moving, keep on shifting. And that's going to be your most expansive and natural. And the thing is, a lot of manifesting generators going to be afraid that they'll never be successful if they do that. That's your conditioning. That's the conditioned thought that you have to stay in that linear path. No, commit and give your beautiful, magnetic, juicy, creative energy to where you feel called now, knowing that it will naturally evolve as you do. You're never going to just have one purpose. Your purpose is you and all that you want to create and express as you move forward, as you play and dance with all of life possibilities and all the options that are here for you for the taking. So your true self energy, the sign or the signal from your body when you are in alignment is a sense of deep satisfaction. So when you are following your gut and using your life force into something meaningful and fulfilling and expansive for you, you're going to feel a sense of satisfaction in your body. And we want to be aiming for everyday satisfaction from the coffee you have in the morning, from the afternoon walk that you have to wind down your day. Every day you have opportunities to create satisfaction in your life. And again, it's your frequency that will create your reality. So if you give to yourself, even in the smallest ways that feel deeply nourishing and satisfying, it will then ripple on to the rest of the world and then attract and magnetize even more positivity in your life. We want to be thinking about like attracts like. This is where we think of the law of attraction. This is really the law of attraction of operate at the frequency that will draw in more of the good in your life. So when you are trusting your gut, you're going to create more satisfaction in your life. And if you have a manifesting generator child, I just want to remind you that they have a lot of energy, especially as a baby. So they need to get their energy out in satisfying ways because then they will struggle to sleep at night. So instead of plopping them in front of the TV or, doing things that they don't really want to do, give them something that gets them excited. I have one client that she put in a little climbing wall beside her 3-year-old's bed. So it's only really small, but it just gets energy out right before bed or, dance or wrestle or go to the playground during the day, have toys, ways that they can use their energy in a satisfying way, because then they're going to be able to sleep at night and they're not going to be restless. It's really important to remind them to trust their gut as they're growing up. Ask them how does it feel in your belly? Do you want to do this thing? Give them yes, no questions. So a common challenge that the manifesting generator will have is feeling like, as I said, the external world doesn't understand their process. That fear of being a quitter, being a flake, being all over the shop, that means that they aren't going to be credible or that people won't take them seriously or that they won't be successful. And this is the new paradigm. The manifesting generators are leading us forward, showing us that you can be and do it all and you can have a rich and abundant life. And it doesn't mean you have to stick to one thing and then just do that one thing for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. The manifesting generator is showing us the beautiful path of death, rebirth, expansion. You are showing us that when you have the freedom to move, to reinvent, to create something that we've never seen before. That is the way that you will be at your most successful. And at the end of the day, you're most fulfilled and satisfied in life. And that's what we're here for. And you're going to experience all that is possible here. So please release the pressure to do one thing, release the pressure to pick one path, release the pressure to define yourself by one label. It is physically impossible. It would be at a disservice if you felt like you had to. Let yourself be you and let yourself move and shift and change and express all the things that you love, and do it in ways that may not make sense, but it will make sense when you go and create it. Like, you create the thing and people will come, not waiting for the people to come before you create. So there's this whole idea that it's a waste of time if you can't plan it all out or work out how it's going to give something back to you, or what's the return of investment. The manifesting generator needs to trust that if you feel called somewhere, there is something for you and you won't know beforehand. You're going to understand in hindsight and it's going to make a lot of sense. But imagine if you didn't let yourself try or just see because you were running more from your mind. The biggest deconditioning process for the manifesting generator is to trust your gut over your mind's logic. Your gut is connected to all that is infinitely possible. It's connected to, let's say, the 99% of what is possible, whereas your mind is only connected to 1% of what it's seen before, what is known, what is based on its conditioning, based on what it sees as safe. But you have to see that the manifesting generator energy is wanting to explore and dance and see what is possible. So your gut knows more than your mind does. And it's just the practice of trust and faith and surrender to your gut. And over time, you'll create more and more of a trust muscle where you'll no longer need to think of what's my gut saying and what's my head saying. It'll just be like, I follow my gut because I've seen what it's done in the past. And I just invite you to reflect back in moments of your life where you either did trust your gut and it was the right decision, or when you didn't trust your gut and you regretted it. You wish you did trust it. And again, let that make your gut response sacred. When we don't trust our gut, that means that it reminds you how sacred it is to, in the future, to follow it, because you saw what happens when you don't. So own your multi-dimensionality as a manifesting generator. You're not meant to box yourself in. You're not meant to make sense to others. Your path is not meant to be linear. You're meant to incorporate all your different things. You're meant to have lots of different hobbies. You're meant to move in a very intuitive way. You're here to have a very creative, abundant, expansive life. You're here to feel joy and feel excitement. Notice where you force things or where things have become monotonous and uninspiring. You're here to be lit up. You're here to be your divine life force, creative energy. And that's going to happen when you trust your gut. That's what's going to happen when you follow your curiosities, when you follow what excites you, when you follow your bliss. The yogis say when you follow your prana. When you do that, you attract all that is meant for you. And the thing is that you're not going to experience that until you give it a go, until you experiment with it. So even just for the next few weeks, I invite you, for the next, let's say, 4 weeks, trust your gut. Notice your gut. If you feel like you're not there yet, and I just want to remind you that it's not that you can't trust it, that's just your story. It's just that you're not at the place yet, that at least acknowledge it. But for the next 4 weeks, make your decisions from your gut and notice how differently you feel, and notice what shifts and changes around you. What would be the line of action? What would you do? How would you spend your time? What would you invest your time in? Who would you be around? All of this is important because it affects your energy, and your energy, your life force, is your most sacred resource. It's what will create your reality. It'll be determinant on whether you have a successful, abundant life or whether you have a love-filled life. It's if you treat your energy as sacred. And notice when the fear, when the doubt, when the perfectionism, when the self-criticism shows up, give love to that part of yourself, but move forward where your life force is directing you. Because that's not random, that's for a reason. And it's going to be an initiation where you start to show your body that you are safe to trust yourself. You are safe to trust your gut. You're safe to trust your nonlinear path. You're safe to trust the uncertainty of this reality. Like, life is uncertain. No ifs, ands, or buts around it. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you may as well trust the gut and give that the opportunity to create a life that, your logical mind might not be able to fathom. but your soul knows. Your soul knows. Your intuition is connected to your soul's knowing. It's connected to your highest destiny. It's just about letting your human body get on board. So there can be so much internal friction and hardship and feeling stuck when you're forcing an identity that you've since evolved from. Let yourself change. Manifesting generator, your soul chose to have an experience where you're going to have a lot of change in your life, where you're going to show us that change is always beneficial, especially a change in thought or a change in perspective. So when you can just honor that's part of your experience and move through that and allow it, then it can be inspiring rather than scary. So always, always, always tune into your gut before making a decision. Don't make decisions from the mind because then you can regret it. You can say yes to that thing, and then when the day comes, you wish you didn't say yes. Or you could be running out the door doing something, and then it really wasn't the thing that was aligned for you. Stop, pause, connect to your gut, connect with your response in your body. Do you feel expanded? If you do, move forward, go grab, do the thing. If you feel constricted, reconsider, get curious, be brave to say no. Be brave to say not right now. For example, if you feel a constriction in your gut or in your body, it might just mean not right now. It's just not the right timing. It can be something in the future, but for now, it's not a sustainable or best use of your energy. And I just want to remind you that even if you're not in the position where you can create big change in your life, start making steps, like start creating safety in your body. So for example, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh no, my job is not aligned for me, or this relationship is just really not aligned for me. I'm always in my not self. I'm always frustrated. Get curious. What is the way that you're using your energy that feels draining and frustrating? And if you end up, realizing that it really is just the wrong place for you or the wrong space for you, start taking steps. Okay, well, I'm going to save some money so that in 6 months' time, I can start redirecting. Or does that mean that I want to create a course so I become certified in this thing that I'm actually interested in? So could I go and learn something new so that then I can share a different service or start my own business? Or is it going to be that I create more mindset or subconscious support so that I feel more resourced to create change in my life? Be open to the options that are going to create safety in your body so you can make change, whether it's financial safety, somatic body, subconscious safety, or safety in your capabilities, or something that you want to create a new business or a new financial portal. So start making steps rather than creating overwhelm and thinking that it's so far away that I just have to stay here. No, that's not empowering, and that's not how change works. Like, change happens in the micro moments and the micro choices in the everyday, and everything compounds. Days turn into weeks, turn into months, turn into years, and then your whole life and reality has changed. But it took you taking the steps in the everyday. And I would also invite you to get into your lit up, juicy, manifesting generator energy every morning and do the things that help you do that, whether that is music, whether that is dance, whether that is a podcast, whether that is nature. Prioritize the time for it because it's really important. And, on the weekends, if you have something that really you love to do, please invest your energy into that because, again, it's going to overflow in other areas of your life. Nothing is silly and nothing is a waste of energy if it gives you and generates energy in your body. So own that you love lots of different things. Own that you can do 20 different things at the same time. Own that it doesn't make sense. Own that you change and shift a lot. That is your superpower. That's how your life force works. And people are going to be connected to your unique transmission and all the skills and all the knowledge and all the capabilities and all the life experience. Like, manifesting generators have big life experience. They're going to want to experience life through you. They're going to want to experience your service or your product or just your energy because of the multidimensionality and the depth that you bring, because you're not one-sided. You definitely haven't had a boring experience here. So let your gut be your decision maker. Let your gut make your decisions in every moment as it presents every day. You're not going to be able to plan it ahead. You're not going to be able to know the 10-step plan or your 10-year vision. When you take each step intuitively as it presents with your gut, then you are going to be guided into your highest, most aligned path. You're not going to be able to plan it out before. So stop trying to figure out your life from your mind, because it's keeping you in a lower vibration. It's keeping you in a small life when you're designed to have a big life. And that's going to include just a lot of uncertainty and a lot of intuition. And all you need to do is trust yourself, trust your gut, trust that life is wanting to support you. You just need to go first and take the first steps. Allow yourself to move quickly, to change, to rebirth, to reinvent, and create, for example, if you're in business, create a business that you can shift and change throughout. Give yourself permission to. And same in relationships. A lot of manifesting generators can be afraid of entering romantic relationships because they feel like they'll be like stuck or constricted. No, relationships can be the most supportive and empowering spaces where you can truly explore and expand and uncover different aspects of yourself. For example, for me, like being in a relationship has meant that I've felt safe to explore these things. I've felt safe to meet deeper parts of myself. And so I really see this with manifesting generators is that when they're in supportive relationships, yeah, they feel safe to explore. And so you need to give yourself the permission to be all of you and not be worried if you're too much or be afraid of changing because you don't want to leave them behind. Like you need to let them catch up, let them be inspired by you and let them go through their own journey and their own evolutionary process. All you can do is stay true to you and they will be inspired by it and they will support you with it. And look, if they don't, then you can get curious then, but don't stop your own evolution or don't be afraid of being in a relationship because you think that it will somehow inhibit your freedom. The right relationship will help you feel safe to explore all that's possible within you and outside of you. So see your energy as your most valuable resource. Give it to what fills you up, what you're excited about, what enlivens you, because then you generate an overflow energy to the rest of the world. You then create what is needed. And when you do what you love and you do it well and you give that life force energy, it's inevitable that you're successful. It's inevitable that you draw in what's meant for you. The only thing that will stop you is your own stories, you not allowing that life force to move in an intuitive way, with these stories of like, people won't understand it, or people don't want this, or I can't make money from what I love, or I'm afraid of being responsible for that, or people will think I'm a quitter or a flake. All of these stories, this is what we need to release. And rather than not trusting your gut. Like your gut is the true wise resource rather than the mind stories. We can witness them, but we don't follow them. Release all guilt that it is selfish for you to trust your gut. It is the most selfless thing to do because you overflow to others and you create what the world needs. And the final thing I will say and remind you, don't ever box yourself in. You are abundant, divine, creative life force energy that is meant to move in an intuitive, expansive way. And all of it is part of your purpose. All of it is part of your life portfolio. And who you get to become through all of it is the whole point. So you are the only one that can stop you from freely expressing and freely creating and freely growing. So embrace all your identities, embrace your multi-passionate energy, embrace all the contradictions within you. Take every day as it comes and remember that life is here for the taking, for you to enjoy and for you to manifest and for you to create. And if you're unsure of which idea or which direction to go, pause, ground into your gut. What feels most expansive? What's almost the lowest hanging fruit? And what provides the opportunity or the avenue for you to have your greatest growth? Because we have to remember that humans are here to have an evolutionary experience. So it's often going to be the thing you're most afraid of, or the thing that you feel scared by, or the thing that's going to brush up to the edges of any conditioned ideas or anything that brings up doubt or anything that brings up some internal resistance. That's often the most important thing that you need to do. So it's usually a 3-prong approach. If you get this excitement, you feel this expansion, you feel called towards something, but there's also some mental resistance or fear or doubt, that is your sign that you need to move towards it. That is a sign of your highest path, your highest evolution, your highest growth. And that's what the world needs from you. And that's where you're going to be your most successful and your most juiced up with your life, you're most satisfied with your life and the most Inspired. So you're here to be inspired, manifesting generator. If you have a creative idea, if you have a creative vision, that's what you're here to do. If you're feeling like you don't really have a vision or desire yet, go inward, start releasing all you are not. And most importantly, notice the judgment. A lot of the time, people don't have desire because they're judging their desire or they're unclear of their desire. You have a little inkling. Everyone does. You have a little inkling or a passion, something you listen to on podcasts, even the fact that you're listening to this YouTube. Maybe there's something within human design for you. But notice when all the fear and judgment comes up or says, oh no, what will people think of me? Or how would I actually make money from that? That is all the illusions of your conditioning. Trust that when you follow your gut, you will build step by step and your energy will draw people in. And you never want to get to the end of your life and regret never trying. So, manifesting generator, follow your gut. If you can take one thing away from this video, follow your gut over the limiting stories of your mind. Your gut is your guidance. Your gut is your compass. Your gut is showing you where you're designed to go for your path of highest evolution, success, abundance, love, and most importantly, for you to feel fulfilled and most fully expressed. So if you want to dive in deeper, I would invite you into the Advanced Human Design Certification, where you will become an expert in human design and be able to share this really transformative modality. Maybe it's going to be part of your business as a manifesting generator, if you desire to have a fulfilling career. And also, even if you just want to have it as a fun party trick for friends and family and be able to understand your people. If you just want to do it for your own joy. So if you feel expanded or curious or excited by this, I'll put a link below for our advanced certification. It's by far our most transformative space that will activate you into your highest potential. Okay, manifesting generators, I love you. And please just remember that the world benefits when you stay true to you and you follow your gut wherever that takes you. This world, let yourself enjoy what is possible here. And notice when the only person that stops you is you. Thank you so much for listening, and definitely check out the rest of our energy types.